Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Think Ribbon. Today, I am doing a podcast once again with the lovely Diamond, who is glammed out.
Oh, thank you. I'm just feeling myself today. My personal identity is shining through.
No, you're like very.
As are you.
Like onyx, amethyst. I don't know.
Just let me tell you your future. Kind of vibe.
So you started working on getting your license.
Yes. Oh my god.
I'm curious
so
as an
weird.
American because like I know it's gonna be different for you versus for us.
Well, what age do you guys start to drive over there? Is it 17, isn't it?
16 is when you get like your learner's permit and start actually like learning how to drive. I think you can get your license as young as 16, but I think
Yeah.
it's 18. I'm not 100%. And really, for most people, they don't get to do it that young. It's only like if you've got parents who got you a car and you can
Yeah.
practice in it.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think you can get your provisional quite young here. I'm not too sure of the age itself, but yeah, you can learn to drive. I want to say from 18, but I don't know. I really can't remember. But I know, like in America, it's like really young. I heard some places let you drive at 15. But anyway, I'm 24, so like I've left that time now, and it's like, I should learn to drive because it's just going to open the world up to me just that little bit more than it normally is. And so I've had my second lesson on Thursday this week, and let's just say it's been a journey. My first lesson was actually, I think, a bit more successful than my second because, you know, when you get the hang of something and then you get this new regained confidence and then suddenly you forget everything and then you just mess up even more.
Yeah, like you get all in your own head.
So, yeah, the first full lesson was good. I, got to learn the basics, driving around in a car park. Nothing really serious, and then he drove me to a quieter area because like I wasn't confident driving to the area just yet, and I drove around the road there just going from gear 1 to gear 2. Is everything automatic with you guys? Do you still
For
do
the
gears?
most part now, there are standard cars a lot, but most people just don't even bother anymore.
Okay, well, we have to learn the gears here.
You
Looking
have
at like
to?
9% of the cars. Yeah, in the driving lessons. Well, you can learn automatic lessons, but you can only drive an automatic. Whereas if you learn the gears, you can drive anything. You have more variety.
But is
of
there
choice.
is there a differentiator on your license? Because here you can drive, period. Like it doesn't matter if it's standard or automatic. Your license is just your license.
I'm not actually too sure about that. I would like to say you only get an automatic license because if you haven't learned gears, then how could you drive it's called a manual, isn't it? How could you drive a manual if you haven't learnt it? So
Yeah, manual,
yeah.
standard, or shift. That's what the three names that are commonly referred to.
Yeah, so I'm just driving around in this little car, getting used to things, and on Thursday, I'm really embarrassed about it, but I find that if I talk about it, it gets better. So I was spending like half an hour driving in 2-lane traffic, where it's like car, like opposite directions, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was for like half an hour. So I'd gotten used to having cars next to me. And then I was like, right, we're going to go off this junction, and this junction has 2 lanes, and then 2 versions of that lane. So you can go up and right, up and left, and then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I came out of traffic, instead of going up and out, I kind of went up and right, so it went straight down into incoming traffic because I was like so used to the cars being next to me. That felt normal, and then he was like, no, go left, and I was like, and he took the wheel. I was like, I'm so sorry. He was like, it's fine. To be fair, he hadn't explained to me what these so that in the UK we have blue arrows that point downwards that say you should be on this side. This is where you should be. And he hadn't yet explained that to me. So not like hadn't yet, but I don't think it was like mentioned, but that would have been nice to know because I probably wouldn't have done it. So yeah, I was like panicking and I was just driving 20 miles per hour, just like, I can't believe I just drove into incoming traffic. The only reason I did it though was because there was no traffic. There was just one car in one lane and the other lane was free. So to me, it looks like I was supposed to go that way. But yeah, junctions now scare me just as much as roundabouts do.
I hate roundabouts. They're the stupidest thing ever.
Oh,
But
just
don't feel bad. I've got a couple things to tell you that are going to increase our friendship level and make you feel better about yourself as a driver. So first of all, I was also your age when I got my license. I got it very, very late. I just, I never needed it because I always had my parents or someone to drive me. And then in college, I lived within walking distance of my school. And then living in Japan, I took the train. So I just never needed it until I moved to LA. So I got it very late. Failed my test twice. You only get 3 tries, and then you have to start the whole process all over again. But thankfully, I got it on the 3rd try. And both times I did the same thing. There's a double yellow line, and you never, ever are supposed to cross it. And I crossed it. Like, literally, we left to start the test. I turned out, crossed the line, and she's like, okay, go ahead and make a left and another left, and we're back. And I was like, oh, fuck me.
Jesus, yeah.
The other thing that'll make you feel better, and this was way before I got my license, this was in high school. Did I ever tell you about when I crashed my friend's car into a Chinese restaurant?
I think you mentioned it, but you didn't go into detail.
Okay, well, this goes into the standard and automatic thing. He had gotten a Mustang that was standard, and like, I had been kind of learning standard, but it was just really, really hard. And, you know, when you're at that age, you're trying to be cool. So he's like, well, oh, why don't you repark my car? So I was able to somehow park it perfectly, and then I let go of the clutch, and the car just took off into the Chinese restaurant, and everybody died. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was a miracle. It was lunch, and it was a really popular Chinese buffet, and nobody was in there. I don't know how or why. But I do remember this morbidly obese woman, as I'm sitting there talking to the cops, she walks by, she looks at the car, she looks at the door, she's like, is it still open? I was just like...
That would be me, wouldn't it? Let's just be real.
You're like, well, I'm hungry, so... Yeah, so that happened. So don't feel bad. I think everyone... Like, now driving is like nothing. Like, sometimes I have to like remember I'm driving while I'm driving, which is weird.
Wait for that.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Time when that happens, because I never knew like the clutch existed. I've heard of it. Like, I heard someone say it, but I don't know what it was until he was like, "Yeah, you have to press the clutch every time you change a gear." And I was just like, "Wow, okay, that's something I'm gonna have to get into the habit of." And the thing was, because I changed gear to go down a gear, it's not making a funny noise, like saying, oh no, you're not in the right gear, because technically that gear will take you up to certain miles per hour. So like, I actually went into 4th gear, but because I was going to 20 miles an hour, it didn't make a noise. So I wasn't learning from my mistakes. And that's what's really annoying me. And every now and then he'll like, oh yeah, you're in 1st gear, you're in 4th gear. Because you have to pull it really far to the left to get into 1st and 2nd. And then 3rd and 4th is just straight in the middle. I haven't gone above 3rd gear yet, oh my god. No, 4th gear.
Well, it's cool that you're learning standard, because I still can't drive it. After the Chinese restaurant incident, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to automatic. You just hit the gas and you go, and you hit the brake and you stop, and that's it. Like, that's all you gotta do.
I mean, half of me was like, oh, I just want to learn automatic and just do what I need to do and get in the car and go. But like, that's not challenging myself. You know, I've taken on the challenging job as a receptionist, and sounds receptionist doesn't sound challenging, but a veterinary receptionist is very challenging. It's so hands-on, it's unreal. So that I've just started to get my place there now after it's nearly 6 months. My probation is next month. Fingers crossed I pass. But yeah, that's really hands-on, and now I'm just like, well, I need to learn to drive. Let's just do the full whammy, learn the gears, learn everything. And I drove myself home on my lesson. I was just like, oh my god, I could drive. It freaks me out that I could, if I needed to, like, say if it was an emergency and no one could drive, I could get in a car and drive right now. Like, I couldn't go above 30 miles per hour, and I couldn't go to a roundabout, but yeah.
But you could get it done if it needed to get done.
Yeah, and that's
a really good skill to have. Like, even if you don't own a car or plan on ever driving, it's good to just know how to drive in case, you know, I don't know, there's a hostage situation, or, you know, you gotta go find your DoorDash driver, or something like Resident Evil happens, you gotta get out of Raccoon City, you never know.
Exactly, you never know, and that's a big reason. My mum wants me to learn to drive so I can take her to her hospital appointments.
Oh god.
I I was like, if that's the case, you're chipping in for the car, lovey.
Well, good on you for making a lot of good life choices and bettering yourself and being an adult, because it's not fun, but
yeah. It's not fun. It's really not. But well, no, it is. It's exciting, but really scary at the same time. But my mum is so happy for me. She comes in, squeezes my cheeks, and goes, "Oh!"
Oh.
You know, when you're so happy, you just can't contain it, and you're like, "Oh!" Yeah, she does that to me. But she's so excited
so
for
cute.
me. And I couldn't ask for a better instructor. He doesn't make me feel like an idiot, and it's good. I could say something really stupid, and he'd be like, he'd look at me like, not right, but like it wouldn't be like you're stupid. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
He just throws you out of the car.
Just,
like, we're done.
Leave now.
No, well, that's good. And yeah, like
though, that's another thing.
yeah, most people don't do like proper driving school unless they've got money, because it is expensive. Like usually just have a parent teach you, and you just hope to God you don't crash the car, because then you're not on their insurance. And then it's like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, mine's, I think it's like £35 a lesson, but I'm doing 2 hours at a time, so it's like £70 a week at the moment. So, you know, it's getting costly, but it's going to be worth it. I'm hoping. I say 6 months, but I'm like, I want to be less than that. I don't want, because I'm thinking like 2 hours per week, and like I couldn't imagine like passing after 10 hours. Like, I feel like there's so much to learn, but you never know.
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, driving, it's great.
Well, adulting, everything that like adulting,
yeah.
it's like it sucks in the moment, but it's better once you're on the other side. Because like I'm going through that right now. I'm getting all sorts of body things that I haven't been able to take care of done. Specifically my teeth right now. Oh my God! Like,
oh yeah, your dentist, it looks like a Chinese takeaway place.
it does not. I don't know what you're smoking.
It really does. You sent it to me, and I was like, he's getting egg rolls.
Anyway, yeah, so I went for a root canal, and then I went back, and I thought they were just gonna like put in like the cap, and I don't know what they did, but they drilled and drilled and drilled, and like my jaw was like just like swollen. That's why we haven't been doing the podcast. I know you've been asking me, but I was just like, I can't, like I'm so much in like so much pain. I literally just curled up on the couch and popped a gummy, and I was just like, bye everybody, I'll be back.
We did numb you, right? Just
well, yeah, but like I could still feel it. Like she was doing stuff that I don't really want to know. I wasn't looking. I had one earbud in, and I was just like in a music video, like la la la. But at one point she's like,
had that.
Yeah, anytime you go to the dentist, like bring an ear. Like you have to just have one ear open so they can tell you to like, you know, open your mouth and close it and whatever. But
if all of your teeth are falling out quick.
Yeah. But one of the most disturbing things she did, she's like, okay, so I'm gonna put something that's like floss in your teeth, and it's like it's got medicine on it, so just try not to lick it because it tastes really bad. And I was like, okay, she's gonna floss with some medicine, cool. What she didn't tell me was it felt like if you took a paper clip or a staple and like unfolded it and then started just jamming it into the center of my gums, like, and I'm just there like clenching my hands into the chair like, oh my God, like, ah. But
and you felt, how did you feel it if they've numbed you?
Well, because you can feel the pressure. Like I could feel the pushing,
it's
and
the pressure. Okay, right.
You know, and I could see her, and it was like a solid, like it wasn't like a flexible string. I don't know what she did. I don't want to know what she did. I was just like la la la, like.
Probably best not to know that sort of thing.
The good thing is because I have health insurance now, this would have all cost me like $5,000, and I think I've only had to pay like $700. So like. Oh.
You have to pay $700 still?
The only thing I have to pay for is the final crown that's going to go on top. I have a temporary one right now. So, like, yeah, but I don't have to pay for cleanings. I didn't have to pay for the actual root canal, which was like $2,000. Like, it's all foreign to me.
It's so expensive. Like, my tooth, like, wisdom tooth removal was £70.
It's because in America, medical stuff is for profit, not for the people. So, that's how that works here.
Jesus Christ.
We don't need to get into all that, but yeah, it sucks. But another thing that I did, actually not with insurance, because I don't think insurance would even cover it, and this is something that was a secret that I never wanted to talk about, but now that I'm actually like almost over it, I want to tell, in case there's other people who have this, When I was in college, I would shower at the gym with no flip-flops or anything, just bare feet in the shower, and I ended up getting a horrible toenail fungus that spread to most of my toes. And because of that, for the past, I don't know, 8 years, I've just been super, like, I never let anyone see my feet. I always make sure I have socks on or whatever. And I went to right at the end of our street when we moved here is a foot care center, like a podiatrist. So I was like, okay, that's a sign from the universe. I'm going to go get this taken care of. And I wish I had done it so much sooner. It was $75 for just the appointment, $25 for some pills. You take them for 90 days and that's it. And it's almost gone. Like, what happens is it kills all the fungus underneath the toenail, and then the toenail just starts growing out. And by December, like, it should all be grown out, and then I'll have beautiful new feet. And then I'm going to go get a pedicure, and I'm going to take care of my feet forever. So if anyone watching ever has foot fungus or has it now, don't be embarrassed. It's not you, and it's very easy to take care of. So now you know my secret.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Things that you can't control are things that we should not be embarrassed about. I hate that whole
it's
concept.
really bad. Like my feet were fucking disgusting. Like, you have no idea.
What it is. Like, no one can be perfect. That's it. Like, my insecurity is like, well, yeah, my weight is like a big insecurity, but it's something that I deal with. But I've just been not diagnosed, shall we say. There's this skin condition that I have, and I think I can't pronounce it, hydrodentis suppurativa, I believe it's called.
Oh yeah,
like
of course. Mm-hmm.
I have that, and that's something that they've told me that I probably have. So it's made me feel like, okay, so it's not just me and my hygiene or anything like that, because I thought it was to do with something I was doing, but now I've been told that I have it, I'm prone to it, which is just basically under the skin boils and acne that just take a while to heal. Like, that's just it's just it. And the best part about it was she basically said the reason why it's happening under your boobs is because you're a large-chested lady. There's no airflow.
Like, why, thank you.
I was like, there's no airflow, is there? That's what it is. She's like, yeah, that is what it is. And the same with you, your bum, you got big bum. I was like, I'm being reprimanded for being thick.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
So yeah, that's my embarrassing.
No, I know. We all have things on our bodies that we never talk about that we're embarrassed of, but I think that's just human nature.
It is, yeah. No, exactly.
It's just, mine was something very visible. It's weird. You don't think your feet are that big of a deal, but like, I'll be somewhere and I'll see someone, like a guy with like flip-flops, and he just has really normal toenails, but to me, I'm like, wow, like, his feet are so nice. I wish I could have feet like that. Like, for like 8 years.
Oh, I get that.
And it was so easy to fix. I don't know why I waited so long. But anyway, moving from physical stuff to mental stuff, there's something I wanted to talk about. Everyone knows about smartphones, but have you ever heard of the term dumb phone?
No.
So this is really interesting to me, but I found out that there's sort of this underground revolution that's happening, specifically with people in our age group, like kind of the millennial generation, where people are actually purposely downgrading their phones. They're buying like flip phones or like old phones that like don't even have like a touch screen or don't have like apps or whatever. Like, it's just like a regular phone.
Oh, okay, a dumb phone, like a burner phone.
Yeah, but like you use it as like your main phone.
A regular phone and not just to buy drugs. Okay.
And what's happening is it's actually getting so much traction that companies are now starting to make phones to cater to people who are into that. Specifically Nokia, they're the ones kind of killing it. In fact, one of their phones, I actually want to get it. It has the back like slides down, and it's got built-in like earbuds that are wireless, and you can put your music on it, and it's just like a normal phone. Like it's got the number pad, and I think it's got like WhatsApp and like Facebook Messenger on it, but it's like a really dumbed down version of it. And it's like $75 for the phone,
I
And
mean, if it works, it works.
well, the thing about that is I've been going through something recently. Like there's been things clicking and something in my mind is changing, especially being a YouTuber, where I think I'm starting to realize I'm going a bit internet numb, and I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Just learning about, like, one of the things I found out about smartphones is this is like, oh my God. So our phones reach for our attention. And that was one of the things with the dumb phone that was so big that people realize is with, you put your smartphone down and it just will go off and be like, hey, like someone posted something on Instagram or someone did whatever.
I hate that.
They do that on purpose to get your attention, be like, hey, get back on this. And then you end up losing an hour because you're fucking scrolling through TikTok or whatever. Like,
TikTok's the worst one for me, yeah.
But that's the thing is you go on there, you don't do anything productive. And most likely, I guarantee you're going to leave with a negative experience on some level, because all it takes is, you'll see funny memes, cats, dogs, whatever. And then you see that one post that pisses you off or triggers you or makes you feel bad about yourself. And then you're just like, And then the other thing with the dumb phone is, like, back in the 90s when, or earlier when people didn't have phones, just as an example, you'd be out with your friends having a great time. Something happens, but you don't need to worry about it. You don't get any notifications. You don't get anyone telling you, like, oh my God, look what happened on Twitter. No, you just stay in that moment and you stay happy, and there's nothing to, like, derail that happiness momentum. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's something there, and I support that. And it's weird because I do social media for a living, and I'm talking like this, but I think we're starting to really run into problems as a society, like as a species.
Yeah, no, for sure. I hate, like you were saying earlier with the notifications, I hate being told so-and-so has posted this. I can't stand it. I don't care. I've started turning off all my notifications for things like that now. So, I mean, you could almost see a phone as like a tablet, because I see a tablet as like a social side of a phone, and like they've combined the two, haven't they, now with the size of the phones these days? Like, you've seen that one that folds in half.
Yeah.
It just baffles my mind that like phone can do that. Like a phone.
Well, do you know why? The main reason they did that is because they're trying to mimic the feeling of having a flip phone, because a lot of people miss that. Like, no, kids these days will never understand how satisfying it was to just hang up your phone on someone and just snap it shut. Like, it's so much more satisfying than just touching a screen.
Oh, I remember having my mum's Motorola hot pink glittery flip phone and thinking it was the best thing in the world. No, I don't know, actually. It was like
Is that the one that like everybody had in the 2000s? Yeah, it was the Razr. That was like the phone. Although I had the Riser, which was so cool because it looked like a regular phone, but it slid up like the Matrix. Yeah. Oh, so cool.
Yeah. And then they came to like Blackberries, which is like a keyboard on a phone.
Yeah.
And then you had the Nokia. So you called it Nokia. I was like,
oh yeah, Nokia.
It's Nokia. I didn't know what you were on about until I realised you meant Nokia. But those were like the phones were like that, weren't they? And then you could like flip it up, and I used to love that. I had a hot pink one. I loved it. Oh, all my phones in school got stolen. I'm just a sucker for. I'm an iPhone girl. I really look. Let me show you my wallpaper right now.
Aww.
Can you see what it is?
Yeah, the train from Resident Evil 0. Mine is hold on, let me move my notifications. Which I have so many. Oh my god. Like, my phone goes off all the time, but I have that picture of Jupiter.
Oh, that's cool.
From the telescope. Jupiter's my favorite planet, and then when they had this image, it was like breathtaking. I was like, oh my god, my nerdiness just like like, damn, Jupiter, you thick. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of want to. There's a lot of people who have done the whole like I tried using a dumb phone for 90 days or 60 days or whatever, and every single one of them came back with extremely positive results. And they're like, I had my iPhone right there the whole time. I could have gone back to it, but I actually am going to continue it. I don't think I'm going to use my, like, they usually use it for like certain social media, like, you know, taking pictures for Instagram or stuff like that, but they don't use it as their primary phone anymore. And to me, that's amazing that people can do that.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because I'd like to say that I could do that, but my phone isn't my life. My phone is my friends. If that makes sense. That
Well,
that
no, I'm
is
the same
my way
way.
to contact people. Do you know what I mean? So I don't see it as like, oh, I have to go and like see what everyone else is doing. It's more that I want to contact my friends and I can't do so without it.
Yeah.
Like this Discord, there we go. We wouldn't be doing this
No,
right now without
that's what
Discord.
they need. The moment that they have Discord as a messaging app on a dumb phone, I'm sold. That's the
Yeah.
only thing holding me back, because Discord is how I keep in touch with all my friends. And like, I mean, even Instagram, like I found out earlier today that you can use Instagram on your browser, like completely. You can message people, you can,
Yeah.
I had
Oh
no
wait,
idea. I was like, "Oh,
completely.
yeah, it's
Oh, so
completely
I know you
online
can see
now."
profiles and like you can go scroll through their like posts and things, but I didn't know
Yep, you
you could
can
do
search, you can
everything.
post, you can do everything on the
Oh,
browser now on Instagram.
okay.
Because that was the other thing. Like literally, Instagram and Discord are the only things that I really need, like to have on my device with me. And it's not even, Instagram's not even about looking at stuff. It's messaging my friends. You know, because I use it primarily. Like it's weird. Nobody texts or calls anymore. Everyone just uses random apps. But the
Like,
moment
how am I
they
going to
have
FaceTime you on
Discord,
a boat?
huh?
How would I FaceTime you on a boat when I'm drunk? Like,
Oh,
come on.
you're gonna have to
We need
text me.
that. Hey, I'm drunk on a boat. It's not the same.
I'll be like, hold on, I'm downloading your image. It says it'll take 3 minutes.
Just start chucking coal into the phone. Jesus. We're going back in time now. I think people are just wanting simpler times.
Well,
It felt easier back then, but the
here's
inflation's still going up.
well, the thing is, like, I think that when it comes to the internet and the way that we're all connected, we're not meant to be connected to this many people all the time at once. Like when you go on Twitter and you just see all the stupid shit people are saying, or like you go on Instagram, you see the really unhealthy things that people are posting or saying, like it really takes its toll on you. And I think the golden age of the internet was in the 2000s, like the MySpace era, because the way that it worked is you had your cell phone, which didn't really have internet unless you're rich, and even then it was really slow and like not really worth it.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to text your friends, like your actual close friends, you know, text each other throughout the day. But then when you get home, you turn on your computer and then it's like, oh my God, do I have any messages?
Yeah.
Like social media was exciting. Like, oh, I got a message, I got a comment, whatever. You'd do what you needed to do, and then you'd go to some website or get off or do whatever. And then like start over. And now everybody is just like this all the fucking time, and it's so bad for you.
Especially when they're crossing roads. That's what I don't
Oh
understand.
my God, I know.
Oh,
I've seen
and the
people
worst
cross
part,
like all the way without ever looking up from their phone, and I'm just like, wow, okay.
it's disgusting. And the most disgusting part of it all is apparently I'm the same generation as them.
Are you
I'm
Gen Z or are you
Generation
millennial?
Z. I'm Gen Z.
Okay, that's what I
98.
thought.
I don't want to. I want to be a millennial. Millennial. I can't say it.
Well,
Millennial.
I'm
Millennial.
I apparently the term is geriatric millennial, which means I'm as old as you can be and still be a millennial. Like I'm right at the end of like I
I'm
just
the
made it
oldest
in.
Generation Z.
Yeah,
I
but
guess. I don't want to be Generation Z. I've seen their TikToks. They cringe me out so bad. They need to grow up.
well, yeah, I know. Oh, well, that's another thing. So the other day we stumbled on a video, and at first we were just watching like meme compilations and stuff, and then we saw this one video of a guy like interviewing people on the street, and I had so many emotions going through me, and I was appalled. But it did something as a YouTuber that I am so appreciative, and as an internet user, and I recommend this to anyone. So this guy was asking questions that every human on Earth should be able to answer without any issues. Like, okay, for example, Diamond, how many...
Hang on. Bear with me. America is different to UK, alright? The systems are a bit different, so carry on. Just want to get out there.
What
If
did
you
I
ask
say?
something that someone... No, I'm just saying, if you're going to ask me something
Oh, no,
that
no.
you should know
No,
in
these,
America...
These are
Oh, you mean like
these
in
are
general.
universal
Okay,
things.
Prepare to cut it because I'm thick as shit.
Let me give you an example. For example, how many moons does the Earth have?
One.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Almost everyone in that video got that wrong.
No way.
Yes.
Thing is, that was so easy that my brain was like, is it a trick question?
He was asking questions like, what is 7 plus 7? And they were saying like 36 and like all these random numbers. They were questions like that where I was just like, what? Like, he was like, name a country. And they were like, Earth, like Asia. And I was just like, oh my God. And it kept going and going. And I was like, what is going? He was like in Times Square in New York, just interviewing people. And his whole shtick is whatever they say, he just goes, yes. Like he just agrees.
I know exactly who you're on about now. I know,
so here's the thing. At first, I was feeling sick to my stomach. I was like, because I've always been like, yeah, Gen Z is a lot smarter than we give them credit. But then I saw that video and I was like, okay, maybe not. But first of all, I'm sure that there was a lot of people who got those questions right and they just cut them out, to make it more entertaining. But it did make me really sad. I was reading through the comments and there was a lot of like people who were very upset, specifically Gen Zers, who were like, as someone who's like 17, like I am not like this, like, like whatever. And then also going back to the social media thing, there was one guy who was like, I'm a Gen Z and I'm the only one in my family who's not always on TikTok. My mom is always on it, my dad's always on it, and it makes me sick. Like I'm so annoyed that nobody cares about anything important anymore. And it was just like the mood really, really dropped.
Kind of ironic though that they did it on TikTok.
Yeah, I know. I know. Actually, this was on YouTube. I haven't been on TikTok in like months.
Right, okay, fair enough.
But here's the silver lining. Now, when I get nasty YouTube comments or people being dicks online, I think of the people in that video and I'm just like, it's fine. Like, those are the people that are supposed to be like telling me that I'm a piece of shit or that I'm stupid or whatever. I'm like, okay, great. And it's helped me so much because now whenever I see nasty comments, I just think of those people and I'm like, yeah, sure.
No, I understand. The thing is though, I think that is what's called bait talk. Have you heard of that? So it's where people will purposefully put a narrative that is fake to get a reaction. They're baiting people into thinking that it's real. Like, have you seen these people that are like, oh, I was born at this age and let's see if I know any of these songs. And they go through all these songs that like most people know, like the majority of people know. And they're like, oh, I've never heard of this. Oh, I've never heard of this. And then like Machine Gun Kelly will come on and they'll stop being like, yeah. And it's like angry, like you get really angry watching it. Just like these
but
people.
You know why they do it, right?
To get attention, to bait them in.
No, there's actually like a behind the scenes reason that they do that, and this is another reason that I don't get too mad about my negative comments on all social media platforms. This is pretty much how it works with the algorithm now. Any interaction drives you up the algorithm and gets you more views, gets you more attention, gets you more money. So that's another thing. When people leave me nasty comments, I'm like, thank you for helping me in the algorithm. Like, like that cha-ching, whatever.
Hey,
like,
if it helps you, I'll start commenting bad stuff on your posts.
No. Any comment. You could literally just put an emoji and it drives up the algorithm and gets more attention. So people will purposely do...
as well.
People will purposely do stuff to piss people off because they know they're going to rage in the comments. So if you don't want to help someone who pisses you off in a video, just don't comment. Don't like, don't comment, don't do anything. In fact, if someone pisses you off, just be like, if there's a not interested or block feature, so that person never shows up on your feed again. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I've unfollowed a lot of people on YouTube that I was watching to be in the scoop of like media and drama, and then I was just like, you know what, there's better things to be watching. Like,
Well, that's
the worst. So the worst part for me is at what point do I stop it? Like, if they're a bad person, do I stop listening to their music? Do I stop like enjoying some of the stuff that they've created because they're a bad person? Like, what? That's a good concept to think about. Is, does that make you a bad person by enabling their content?
It's tricky. I would lean towards yes, but not say like a hard yes. There's a gray area.
Because there's people like, you know, when the whole thing about Michael Jackson came out, that big like TV documentary that came out where people were explaining what happened. People were then saying, "Oh, if you listen to Michael Jackson, you know, you support him, you support what he did." And you have to realize at some point, this music was out before all of this happened.
Yeah.
And it's a different time, so it would be hard to just cut it off.
The example that I would give is it all comes down to financial support more than anything. So let's say like J.K. Rowling's a transphobic lunatic now.
Yeah.
So let's say you already own Harry Potter books, you love Harry Potter, but you don't like her. You already own those books. Enjoy them, read them. It's not doing anything.
It's like
but
if you turn vegan as well.
Huh?
Like with leather boots. Like I've seen people who have turned vegan. They'll keep the shoes because they don't want to waste what they already have. Well, yeah,
if you've already got them, you know.
Yeah.
But like with the J.K. Rowling thing, if you after the fact continue to buy Harry Potter stuff, technically you are now supporting her, and that's people's own what's that word? Prerogative, where, you know, it's your choice, you do what you want, just know the decisions that you're making and what effects they have, whether they be good or bad.
I think it's hard to know what actively makes them money. Like people who post like music on Spotify, are you actively giving them money by listening to their song? How does it work? That's it always confuses me.
As someone who released an album, that is actually how it works. A certain amount of plays will make like a penny. So like the more plays something gets, they get a little bit of money. It all comes from the advertising revenue or the subscription revenue.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Something to think about, because there's bands that like have gone downhill for me and they're bad people, but I love the music. It's like I feel like horrible listening to it, but I you know, for me it creates more good than bad. But then you could say if everyone did that, then you know, etc. It would just make more sense. But,
well, like it's kind of like for me, like I can't really watch anything with Will Smith anymore. Like it's all tainted. Because, like, I just don't see him the same way after the slap. You know, it's like, I would love to watch Independence Day again, but now, like, I just see his picture in the thumbnail, and I'm like, never.
I'd love to know how much of that was real. I really would.
I think it was real because, like, leaving the academy and all that, that's a really big deal. I mean, that's basically, like, you know, being banished from, like, their world or whatever.
Yeah, it's because you've seen the videos when the joke was said, you could see Will Smith actually smiling, and then you saw the look on his wife's face, and that's when he started acting up.
I don't know.
Is that what people have been telling you, or like? Yeah, I just wonder how much is actually real.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Speaking of celebrities, I'm going back to the whole social media thing. Aside from trying to just get away from it, I've also been mindful of what content I'm consuming. I'm trying to make it a habit to only like and consume content that is sort of like, I want to say meaningful or has substance, something that actually enriches my life. Like it's fun to like laugh at a cat or whatever, or just look at dumb memes, but like, you know, like seeing like, oh, you know what I've been doing is webtoons. I've started looking at those. They're just online comics, and anybody can just make their own comics. And the way it is, it's like a long like comic like that, and you just scroll, and like there's some that are really good, and I'm like, this is so much better than just mindlessly scrolling. At least I'm like, you know, getting something, and it's free. But I'm also trying to read more, and I have a confession. I am a Spice boy. I know I've never really talked about it, but I love the Spice Girls. Like, oh my god. And I actually bought Mel C's book, and I'm reading it right now.
Just bought you one.
Because I want to know what went down with the Spice Girls. Like, I've heard some shit. Like, I heard that Mel B, Scary Spice, like, during their shows would tell, like, security, like, I want that guy in my dressing room after the show, and she would, like have sex with people and stuff, and like
put it past her,
yeah. So I'm like, all right, I don't know what went down. Plus, I just want to like read more. I also I'm gonna try to get back into Goosebumps, and I got the Batman Urban Legends that has the issue where Robin comes out as bisexual because I want to support that.
Yeah.
So, that's an example of like content that is like meaningful. I'm sure you've got stuff that you look up online, right? That you like, it's different from the shit. It's like the gold, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because I've started watching a series called Good Trouble, and it's not a fake story, it's a real story. Like, it imitates real life rather than just like, vampires and werewolves and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you actually learn stuff while watching, like, how do I put it? So, they basically chuck a bit of everything. They chuck in a bit of LGBTQ. They chuck in a bit of Black Lives Matter. They chuck in like pay rises, women and men. Like there's a whole big thing of like educating you as you're watching it, and it's really good. Like it's drama, but it's based on real life. These things can all happen. So that's been really good. I don't have time anymore.
That too.
It's really bad. Like I had a bit of a depressive episode this week where I just kind of sat and realised that I can't do things that I want to do as much anymore. Like, yes, I have my weekends, I can do that, but unless I have plans with people or I make physical things to do that weekend, then it's just like 2 days. That's it. It's gone. And then you're back to the 9 till 5.
It's sad when you have to schedule video game time. Ugh. And even then, today, you know what one of my friends said to me that made me so sad, because he was absolutely right. He said, I want to play video games again. And I was like, my heart, like, oh my God, it's true.
Yeah. Like today I spent most of the day gaming, and it felt really good to just do that. Like by myself, and it was just like it was big me time.
Yeah, you gotta master date sometimes. Take yourself out and treat yourself good.
I have no problem master dating.
And you don't have to spend money to master date. You can master date at home. You can master date outside.
In the car.
Any way you want to do it, as long as you're just spending time. So master date is like a term that's like loosely used, but it's basically, imagine taking someone out and treating them, but you're doing it to yourself because you need to love yourself a little bit or take care of yourself. I mean, literally, like going out for like a nice meal or even ordering food, playing video games, whatever. Like, it's something more people need to do once in a while.
Yeah, no, I completely get it. Like that would be another thing for me when I drive. I can drive somewhere. I can drive to the beach and just sit there and have a cup of tea by the beach and like read a book. I can do that rather than having to. Like I know I could do that anyway, but it's just way more convenient when you can be there quickly. Things like that. Like I'd love to live in a little village where everything's just like at my doorstep. That'll be really nice.
And
around here it's crap. I'm not gonna lie. It's at least like, well, it's 5 minutes away from our local town, which is like slowly dying, and then it's like 25 minutes away until there's something actually decent. But yeah.
That's okay. You got all the technology at your fingertips now.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And speaking of all of that, there's something else that I've started doing that I haven't done since high school. And it turns out that it's a skill, or I don't even know what you'd call it, that stays with you, and it's so important, and that's meditating. And I mean, so the reason I started meditating, I almost made a YouTube video about this, but I feel like it would be too weird. Do you know SSX, the snowboarding games?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, well, there are like PS2 games, but there's one called SSX Tricky, and they've got these over-the-top characters, and there was one who is basically a surfer dude, but they put him on a snowboard, and he was all about like nirvana and like Buddhism and meditating, and I thought he was so cool. Like, he looks like Brad Pitt, he was really attractive, and I was like, I want to be like that. And I remember in high school, just, when you've got all the teenage hormones, you get very, very emotional, and I remember being so fucking angry all the time, like not like scary angry where I didn't know what I was going to do, and I knew I needed to calm down, and he just happened to be in the game at the right time. So I decided to try meditating, and I would literally like do the whole thing sitting on the floor and crossing my legs and listening to music, which you don't actually have to do, but meditate however you need to. And the cool thing is, after meditating for enough time, like I was able to just, if I got angry in the moment, I could just center myself and just calm the fuck down. And I can still do that today, and I didn't realize that it's been with me, but something really fucking weird happened when I meditated for the first time. This was like a week or two ago, and I don't know what this means, and I'm like I don't know what happened. So I was kind of like, I don't know how to get started. I don't know what to do. So I looked up like guided meditation on YouTube, and I just put on headphones, and there was one specific to anxiety, and I was like, sure, that sounds right. Let's do that. And there was just a voice like, like just breathe, let your hands rest, blah, blah, blah. And then at one point he's like, take a deep breath. Think of all the things that are stressing you out and bothering you, and don't ignore them. Just give them permission to be there, and just exhale and let them go. And I did, and tears just started rolling down my face. Hey. And here's the weird thing. I wasn't crying. I wasn't like, like, like it was literally just tears came out. And I'm like, what can you see me? Like, what's happening right now? Like, yeah, I didn't know what was happening. And I was just like, okay, I guess we're going to ride this wave. But I guess I was holding stuff in that I didn't realize. I still don't know what happened. But I want to start trying to meditate more, because it's like going to the gym for your brain.
Yeah, I can understand that. I wish I was more open to it, but I can't take things like that seriously, unfortunately, and I just wish that I could.
That's the thing, is everyone meditates different. Like, I thought, that you had to like sit there and listen to like hum and like do all that stuff. You don't. Even what you said about like going to the beach and just like reading a book or whatever, like any place. I think most people do it in the shower without realizing, because you know how you get just mental clarity in the shower and you think of things that you would never think of otherwise. I think in the shower you have no distractions. It's soothing water, and you just are able to just, like, I don't know, take a break from everything mentally.
You could say I do. I wouldn't call it meditating, but mine's like a release. Like, I like to sing. That's my release. So, and I have a shower speaker now, and I play my music, and I sing how I want to sing, regardless of it sounding good, and just trying to go for it. And it just makes me feel really like stress-free afterwards. So that maybe that's my version of that.
Well, come over. We'll have a karaoke party.
I want to come over, Kai. I just have to book the holiday and pay for the plane.
No, singing.
Can I stay at your house?
Of course. Yeah, no, singing. My theory on why singing is such a good stress reliever, because it is for me too, is technically you're kind of just yelling. Like, you're just yelling, but it sounds good. But like, it's therapeutic to just scream.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like it. Maybe I just need to scream. Like, even that, if someone said scream, and I'd be like, ah. I don't know. I don't get embarrassed by much anymore, but I still find it hard to be silly, like on purpose for a reason. But then like shouting isn't being silly. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's a confusing one for me personally.
Yeah,
I should look into it.
I wouldn't worry about it. Like, I think one thing I'm realizing as I get older, like, I'm understanding a lot more about adults and how they are, because you just get to the point where you just stop caring about stuff. You stop trying to look cool all the time. Like, sometimes my hair looks like shit, whatever. I know what I normally look like. It's not a big deal. But for a teenager, for God forbid they see them without their makeup or their hair done. It's like, just relax. Like, no one's going to care.
No, I know, yeah.
You should see all our elementary school pictures.
I've definitely gotten over the makeup thing. Like, I'm dolled up now because, like, cameras bring out the worst. What was that?
Because you're a sexy bitch.
I mean, if Kai says it, it must be true. But yeah, if I'm fine without makeup now. I could go out and see people without makeup, and I feel confident. I know that's probably partly to do with my medication finally working, and now I've like just got to finish the Accutane now, and I'm acne free. Fingers crossed. So that's one thing for me, but yeah, I wear makeup now to be a certain style, like a certain look. Do you know what I mean? There's only so much you can do with nothing that makes you come across like, I want this narrative, my personal identity to come across as like, this is me, this is how I express myself. But you can't do that without makeup, or with your hair looking good, or your outfit looking how you want it to. But then the difference is when you come up a bit older, you just care less about it. Like, oh, if I wish I was like a little bit thinner, or I wish that looked a little bit better. Now it's just like, it's good enough. It will do.
Yeah, and to clarify, I'm not inferring that we get to the point that we just stop caring altogether. You don't want to do that. That's going too far. But, you don't need to look like amazing all of the time. If you're going to get a pimple sometimes, your hair's going to look bad some days. It's not the end of the world. Like, geez, why'd the sun get so bright? Oh.
We should do a podcast where we've just both woken up and done nothing to ourselves, and then just...
Oh, God. Well, I've sent you pictures of what I look like right after waking up. Like, you've seen how bad it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that gif where the guy's like...
Mine's just, I take a nap right here.
No, well, for me, there's a really big factor is whether I have product in my hair or not. Because if I don't, my hair's just like... But if I do, then my hair's just like smushed.
Mine's flat. Like right now, I've got texture spray, hairspray, everything, and even then, it's still not doing what I want it to do. But I need to get my layers cut again.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna have to ask you to help me with light makeup tutorial. I got the stuff that I think one of my friends recommended, but it's for my Zack cosplay because Final Fantasy characters are unreasonably beautiful, even the men. So I have to try to figure out like the guy liner or whatever.
Yeah. Well, what kind of makeup do you have? Because the products you have is going to be the starting point for that.
I'm not doing full face makeup. Like I have basic foundation. I think it's Bare Minerals. I got it in Japan like 10 years ago.
Pretty decent, yeah.
Oh wait, no, I got it. Yeah.
You want them to match your skin tone. That's the issue. They can't be too pale. They need to be the correct undertone.
Yeah, and I also need to go to the eye doctor to get the contacts because they have like the bright blue eyes. And when you're doing cosplay, you really want the eyes to pop. Normally, it would look really like sort of like vampire, but like.
We will do a lesson. It'll be fine. I wish I could just be there and do it for you one time, and then you could be like, "I try and recreate this."
All right. Well, if you guys want to see that,
I said we need like a lesson where we just do makeup together. It'd be so fun.
All right. Well, we'll do that on one of these episodes, and people can laugh at my. I've tried doing makeup before. Yeah. I have so much respect for people who do makeup because it's hard. Like, I always like saw the things about how girls are like, I can't do like the cat eye or whatever, and I'm like, what? It's just like drawing a triangle. What's the big deal? And then I try to do it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is actually really hard. Like, I get it now.
It's just you follow your eye shape. It's not the hardest thing in the world. It's just. I'd have to explain it to you. Bless you. I'd have to explain it to you in the video. Bless you.
Gefilte fish. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to end this here today. But again, if you guys want to see the makeup thing, comment below. My Zack cosplay is almost done. And if any of the stuff that we talked about today strikes you or like you have something to say about it, please leave it in the comments. I know we didn't get to Q&As today, but like with the whole dumb phone thing, I'm really interested to what some of you think. If you own a dumb phone, then please comment because I really want to know. But any closing thoughts, Diamond, before we go?
Drink water.
She gets it.
No, I've been hydrated so much recently, so like, yeah, do it. I highly recommend it. Because if all else fails, you're hydrated.
Drink water. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in for yet another one. Sorry for the delay. I've kind of had a bunch of stuff happening. But subscribe and like and comment, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.